This week, Ken and I are getting real. We talk about how a surprise wedding 10 years ago led to family healing, the breaking of generational cycles, and learning to communicate like adults. That leads into a discussion around the victim mindset and how to break out of it. And then we end with weekly ins and outs. While it is a heavy topic episode, please note there is a lot of humor and fun in it as well. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay. I don't fear no man, but I'ma still put 60 in this Drake. Set it off like Queen Latifah, nigga playing with my cake. Split the bag up with my brother, 50-50 what we made. I can't let no nigga eat that ain't contribute to this plate. Run it up.
Welcome back, Pretty and Pride listeners. I'm your host, Kiki.
And I'm your host, Ken.
And the joke doesn't land the same when you have to repeat it, but
we're starting off with a mukbanger.
Yes, you know it's your favorite when we chew in your ear and eat food on camera. So Ken found this cake and ube tres leches. We are fans of tres leches.
They are
very good, especially when it's real
one
milked
of the best
up.
Cakes. Yes.
I think this is my second or third favorite cake. Maybe I should do that ranking one time.
What's the first?
Okay.
I thought we did this ranking.
Did we just rank? Mine's.
Well, you said creme brulee is your favorite dessert.
Dessert, yes. Well. I'm too literal for these conversations.
Yeah.
It's the dessert I will order most on a menu and that I'd have last in life. Favorite?
Yeah, fair.
I don't know. My first favorite cake is boxed strawberry cake.
Okay.
Second, carrot cake maybe.
Okay.
Maybe tres leches. I think those two oscillate. Okay. I wasn't planning on eating 3 pieces, but that's how Ken plated it for me because she's a sabatier. So here we go.
Not only is this a tres leches, this is an ube tres leches.
Okay,
on the last episode, we talked about those ube coladas. We was ordering nonstop when we was in Hawaii.
Now, the problem for me with those ube coladas is there was no colada, and I mean, I guess there's not. Is colada alcohol? Coconut?
No.
Okay, well the point is they were supposed to have alcohol in them, and really I was just eating 17,000
I think
smoothies.
it's a Kool-Aid in Spanish is what I think.
I'm gonna look it up after.
Producer?
I'm sorry?
Google what does colada mean?
What does colada mean?
Shaking.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you speak Spanish. I was like, you didn't even Google it. Okay. Colada means shaken, if you can hear him. The point is, we were drinking so many ube coladas, I was hoping that there would be a tinge of alcohol in mine, but it was just drinking smoothies.
That's what they tasted like to me because I was ordering them
non-alcoholic. Very responsible. You were really just drinking smoothies, but I was trying to drink smoothies with a twist, okay? So 7 smoothies a day, and I was sober, so that was fun. Anyways, I wanted to turn it this way because this side, you can see how milky it is.
Yeah.
Okay, we're spending too much time on this. Here we go. What's on the top here?
I think that's just like a Cool Whip with shredded toasted coconut.
Toasted coconut reminds me of my prison mounds. Okay.
You were actually toasting the coconut? I thought you were just raw dogging coconut.
No, but that's what I think when I see coconut now. Shredded coconut. I was raw dogging coconut shreds and chocolate chips from different bags, tossing it in my hand and throwing them in my mouth as a snack. That's why I'm not an ingredient household. Okay. Y'all, now I'm really mad that there's 3 pieces on this plate. I envy only children right now. I'm just kidding.
The milky layer is really good.
When you get a tres leches and it's a little too dry, it's like, I want it to look like when we soaked our pound cake in eggnog. Over Christmas. I don't know if we told this story on the pod. You guys are going to understand why we're so fat now. Our mom, I think, got this pound cake. It was not good. It just wasn't a good pound cake on its own. And I have a thing where I've always liked things dipped in milk. Not just donuts, anything sweet. Really good in milk. So I said, you know what? I bet this would slap if we put it in a bowl and then put some eggnog in it and eat it that way.
Slapped it dead.
It was delicious. Now, it's a 3,000 calorie per piece pound cake plus eggnog. But yeah, anyways, it's very moist, right level of milk.
Yep.
Right layering of the whipped cream too. That's not overpowering. The toasted coconut is adding something perfect.
Yep.
And I do taste ube. So
Yeah. Overall,
I'm going to throw that away.
Really good.
So thanks for saving me some.
You're welcome. And you glossed over the prison mounts, but also a story I think worth telling is
Oh,
one day
God,
we're
okay.
FaceTiming.
So back in the day, my heyday, when I cared so much about being fitted, why did I have that? Okay, because I like to bake, especially in the fall. Now, anyone who bakes, well, I should start with the fact that I do not keep snacks or a lot of ingredients in my house. So, and by ingredients, I mean like the ingredients you need to bake. So when I go to make like a cake, I go to the store and I spend like $50, $60 getting all this crap. It's annoying, you know? Like, I gotta get flour, sugar, like all the basics. So, after a time of spending so much money every time I go to the store, knowing fall's coming up, I think, it'd be cool. So I just had some of the ingredients in my house. I'm fit. I bet you I can keep a bunch of chocolate and coconut shreds in my house for no reason. Now, normally I don't have snacks in my house because I know I don't have any self-control, and that's how I maintained my weight loss. And I had the coconut shreds from when I made your birthday carrot cake. And so bought a big bag of Costco chocolate chips. I was like, this is perfect. Come in handy for all my holiday baking I'm gonna do. Well, you're sitting at home, you need a little something sweet, okay? You had your diet dinner with your cauliflower rice and your ground beef and your vegetables. And you thought, goes perfect with that, a little sweet treat. Well, I've got no sweet treats in my house. Looking around, I do got a bag of chocolate chips. I don't have that shredded coconut, which I can't use. I only use that for the carrot cake. So I start with a little sprinkle, a little handful. Tasty. Man, as the week went on, I was eating prison mounds like every freaking hour. You were the one that called them prison mounds.
Yes.
I was like,
I call Kiki on FaceTime. We're on FaceTime. She's telling me about this treat that you're eating. I'm like, so you're just putting chocolate chips and coconut shreds in your mouth to create the perfect bite of what is essentially a prison mound.
Yep. And at some point, I opened that bag of chocolate chips again when it was, let's say, 1/3 full still, and I poured it directly into my trash can. I said, because I may be a lot of things, but I ain't no raccoon, all right? I'm not eating stuff out of the trash. And I said, that's what's going to save me from not going back to the prison mound lifestyle. And since then, no chocolate chips in the house.
I think you were really onto something. There was a time where we were talking about how you had never tried crumble before. Mm-hmm. And you said, maybe I'll just go in and order one of each type of special cookie they have that week, take one bite and throw the rest in the trash. And I just had this visual of you walking in, ordering your little 4 cookies and then taking a bite and then just chucking them in front of the employees that just made them. But you know what? I think you're onto something because I am someone who's if I should get rid of it by eating
the whole thing. You got to know yourself. Also, back in the day, it would have been believable that I would eat a bite of a crumbled cookie and throw it in the trash. Now, no one would believe that if I told them that. Yeah, of course, sweetie. Of course, that's what you'll do. So, but yes.
Anyways.
I'm
glad you like the cake. I'm glad I saved you some. The rest can go into the trash.
Because I did complain a lot last time. The trash, yeah. Oh, yeah. Face down. Mm-hmm. Old bag, soiled with other stuff.
How was your week?
My week it was good. I didn't have a lot going on, but I think the main event that we actually attended somewhat together. We didn't go together, but we're there at the same time, was one of your friends' graduation parties. So that was really cool. That was fun. It's fun to get out and, free food and hanging out with my sis and, producer too.
I mean, the last time you showed up to a graduation party at a restaurant, I was getting married.
Yeah. It was funny because when I walked in. Oh, I talked to you briefly, texted briefly that day, and you're like, I'm going to this ceremony. And I thought, yuck. Like, I hate graduations. Like, I think they are so dull, boring.
Every speech is the same.
Shut up. And it takes so long, and especially if it's a larger school. I don't want to watch 3,000 people walk. What do I give a crap about them? And so, also, even for my own college graduation, I didn't walk because I was like, I know it's a milestone, but I'm like, the degree's on the wall. I'm good, you know? Right now, I could go get a cap and gown and take a picture if I really thought I needed it. And so, when you graduated college, as the good, giving sister I am, I trudged my way over, sat through a 3-hour ceremony. I don't even want to say where we're at in the alphabet, okay? So it's not even like you could leave very early. Uncomfortable seats. It's so boring, so boring. I really didn't want to go, but I had to do what I had to do. And then we leave said graduation. We're going to a nice graduation dinner. It's weird because even some of Ken's friends flew in for his graduations. I love my friends. And I hate graduations, but like to fly in for it, that's a little much. Shit, must be a good person. We show up to this dinner. Oh, y'all, you should have seen Ken. She looked like Mandy Moore in that play in A Walk to Remember. Beautiful gown, fully done up. And I walk in, I say, it looks like you're getting married. And she says, I am. What? Why would you do this? So, long story not short. There's so many elements to this that make it great. There's so many. So first of all, our parents are there. Our dad wears a 3-piece suit to this graduation. Man, at the end of the we're going to dinner. We're like, let's all change into our worst clothes. Okay? I'm wearing pants like this, the ugliest shirt. Mind you, I was super fat back then. So like, maybe not super fat, but like a shirt, one of those like tent ones almost, that like when you raise your arms, it creates like a wing, is hideous. It has like a Native American-ish style on it, but like you bought it at Ross, so it looks like what every person that wears like a 4X, I wasn't a 4X, but I bought it at a 4X, like would wear. Horrible, awful, ugly. I think Dad, what he changed into? It wasn't even jeans. It was worse than jeans.
First of all,
that's my story.
Dad wore a 3-piece suit to the graduation. Our stepmom had asked me, what should we wear to this dinner? And I said, well, it's a dinner. You should wear something like nice that you'd wear to dinner.
Okay, who wears a 3-piece suit to a dinner though?
But why they wore? Listen, they showed up looking like it was Easter Sunday to this graduation ceremony. They showed up
to celebrate you.
Dinner.
No one's showing up to dinner
like casual. Our brothers were in basketball.
They were in basketball shorts. They also dressed very nice. Okay, again, yeah, I guess you said dress kind of nicely, but if you look up the dress code and they let us in with basketball shorts, it's your graduation, you know? I don't have to dress that nicely, you know? So, walk in, learn it's a surprise wedding. That sounds cool. Everyone's surprised, you think, right? Nobody knew it was a wedding. No. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. All of their friends. The groom's family. The only people they didn't know were good old Ken's family. Just me, our siblings, and our parents. Every other guest, they were made aware. That's why they flew in. They wanted to be there for the wedding.
I had like one friend fly in.
That's a lot for her graduation. That's a lot. Anyways, we're pissed. I can't even lie. Not only that, at the time, I was making it about myself. I hate surprises. Like, I have horrible anxiety. I am just like, a surprise? Now, you know, have the wedding you want, but if everyone's surprised, is it really a surprise or is it a mean trick? So for years, we had this slight grudge. I remember sitting there thinking, I was married at the time. So I remember sitting there thinking, I'm going to get you back. yeah, there's going to be a surprise baby. I have you flying. Be like, I'm pregnant. We're doing a little baby shower. I'm doing 4 months. Surprise! 6 months old. I held it against you. I held this in to get you back. I thought it'd be fun. Like, surprise baby shower, but it's really a baby. That's fun. Oh, I can't even remember how many years. It was like 8 years ago by the time this happened.
Yeah.
And it would randomly come up more than you think it would in an 8-year time span, honestly. We was like, not like every day, but every once in a while, it'd be like, oh yeah, and that time you had a surprise wedding. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, the other reason I was so pissed is that I didn't want to go to this graduation to begin with. And the fact that it was just a farce to get me out here for the wedding, I would have been happy to miss the graduation and go to the wedding. Like, so I sat through graduation. You didn't even really care that we were at your graduation. It was just the ploy. That made it even worse. If it was really important to you that we made it to your graduation, sure. But I'm doing something I don't even want to do, and you don't even care. It was just, anyways. So
There's so many layers to this.
So many layers. And every time you think about it, you get a little more mad.
We'll get to what eventually came down to the resolution of this,
Which was almost a decade in the making.
Yes, but I did not want to go to my graduation ceremony.
You guys see what I'm dealing with? She doesn't want to go. Forces us all to go.
Basically, under the guise of like, this is a big milestone, my entire family's here, I couldn't not go to the ceremony.
I feel like you could have just told us day of, just kidding, we're not going to the ceremony, we're going to have a good day instead and then going to get married.
I feel like it mattered to some people that
it didn't. Well, maybe dad.
Yeah,
maybe mom too. I didn't walk in my graduation, so they needed one of their kids to get fucking pictures and proof of.
Mom especially, because
she also didn't walk in her graduation, which I really used to my advantage when I didn't want to do it.
Well, and our other brother, B is not gone to college, but
he
we all graduated high school. So
yeah.
Anyhow, so the other layers are: I did have a bachelorette. My mom was invited. You were invited too.
Yeah.
But mom was like, "It's so far away," because I was like, "Oh no, you should come because I'm gonna be like." Going to get my wedding dress. So I want you to go wedding dress shopping. And she's like, well, we can just do it another time. Like it's your wedding's so far away. Like I had told my family that my wedding was like the following year or something. The other thing is that you had gotten married the same year that I graduated.
Yeah, when your husband thought he could do a surprise wedding at my wedding.
God, no.
These people and their surprises.
Yeah, dude. I don't. Let's
not get off track. We'll say that next time.
Don't worry, I nixed that. But you had gotten married not too long ago, but earlier in the year, and just having gone through the experience on the outskirts of that, I was like, yeah, no, that ain't happening.
I was not a bridezilla though. I was actually a really chill bride. I thought everyone told me they thought it'd be crazier.
It wasn't that you were it wasn't necessarily you. It was that with weddings and milestones, our family can't help but have expectations on things. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of mitigating or thinking about people's feelings.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That
that's true.
I didn't want to have brought into anything, so I went the route of I am not doing any of that because
I'm gonna hurt their feelings in a new, unique way. That's gonna be fun. Yeah.
So all of that to say, I needed to fill the space. So that's why I told people, because I wanted them to feel like they had to come. Otherwise, I felt like no one would come.
To a graduation dinner? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not. I mean, we did though, which is how this came out.
That's true.
This came up. So,
yeah. So
you had the layers on your end of your reasoning, and I can't remember why I missed your bachelorette. Probably because we weren't getting along at the time. I was poor.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really involved in a lot of that, but I know through mom, it was just and here's the other thing, by doing it this way, right? A lot of our family missed out on my wedding. Our grandmother did not come. None of my aunts and uncles on our mom's side, none of the aunts and uncles came. Even though my husband needed his parents to fly in because they're not going to come for my graduation. Because, why?
You see how everyone got to know?
Mm-hmm. He also didn't tell other members of his family, even though he could have, because it was just not something that we were really conscious of. He only told his mom, dad, and sister really to come and be there. But all of that to say that a lot of people missed out on coming to the wedding because they didn't give a shit about my graduation.
Yeah, you really were setting people up. So this is gonna go.
I mean, I also felt like for me,
if you can't show up for my graduation, you
Yeah.
shouldn't show up for my wedding.
like for me, the graduation actually felt like the big milestone. Like I'm a late graduate. I'm not someone who graduated on time like normal children, teenagers these days, where they're like straight from high school, they're going to college and they get their degree after 4 years, so they're 21 or 22 by the time they graduate. I was older. And so I felt like it felt like a bigger monumental milestone, and I felt like I wanted the people that saw the value in that to also partake and be witness to our wedding.
I mean, I get
ironically,
it.
what
I
came
think-
from that was like people were upset that people were like, oh, we can't attend, we're not able to attend your graduation, but we're upset that they didn't attend the wedding. And it's like, well,
Yeah,
You could've done.
I get the thought process. I do feel like there's a financial burden to any form of like travel and all of that. And yeah, you could travel for someone's graduation. That is a big milestone. You can send a card too. I feel like that's societally acceptable more so. So it did give people the out that as a sister I wasn't allowed to take. Thankfully, I guess I got to be there for your wedding.
Yeah.
So glad. It's not a slight. I don't want to say it's a slight, but your family went to your husband's graduation, and sure, it was during COVID, and we watched it online. But we
From
showed
the
up.
comfort of our own.
We blew it up on the big screen, and it was still boring as fuck. Okay, so anyways, congratulations, producer. So happy for you. But anyways.
And the funny thing is that even though I didn't even want to go to my own graduation, I have since gone to three
do
other
that.
graduations, including my husband who graduated after me, one of my really good friends who graduated like the semester after I did, and then most recently my other friend. And I told myself, I'm like, I don't want to go to the ceremony, but like I made myself go to the ceremony. I'm glad that I went.
Yeah.
It's very, it's cool. So
I mean, we did go to babyest brother's graduation. That's a story for another day. And I did try to make it to oldest baby brother's graduation, but I had to putting my dog down.
Yeah.
So couldn't make that. Anyways, back to the 8-year grudge. Now imagine you're just at a casual dinner. Besties with your sister. Having a great family time. Someone says the word surprise. Ooh, ears perk up. Surprise. I remember that time you had a surprise wedding. I still need to get back at you for that. For 8 effing years. Holding on to something. Not so deep that like you're pissed day to day. Just like the lowest layer of like, oh yeah. And every time this goes up, Ken's like, we're basically rehashing the same conversation over and over again for years. One year, was it, I don't know if it was the Christmas party at
yeah.
time. Okay, so we went.
it was around that time. I don't know if it was.
Yeah, it was that time. The announcement versus the graduation. It had to have been the announcement. The graduation was
yeah.
such a shit show. It was not the graduation.
It was not the
We did not have time for, or maybe we did. No, we definitely didn't. Okay.
Definitely not.
The announcement party. We're sitting in the living room. I don't even know what. Once again, our ears perk up and we're bringing it up. And this was a very interesting thing because I can't remember the exact like parameters of the full discussion, but we were able to have a very, very healthy discussion about like your view of it, and not even like your reasoning with us. We did talk about like why we were hurt, and it wasn't a level of like trying to get the other person to understand, and which I thought was also very healthy because it wasn't like, well, you need to see my side necessarily, maybe more on your side. And I really loved that out of everyone, our stepmom, shockingly, I don't know why it was shocking.
It felt shocking.
It did feel shocking, but
Yeah.
it is very aligned with her disposition, yeah, she'll get mad at dad for not getting our straws for us, but she's very much kind of like a, well, baby, gotta let people do what they do type gal. So we're over there with my dad, and I was like, who cares? Just let her have the wedding she wants to have. Okay. But again, don't remember the specifics of the discussion, but I did really appreciate that we were able to have a very healthy dialogue about it and get to the point where somehow within 8 years we healed all in one night.
Yeah, it was a very pivotal moment in
Yeah.
a lot of our relationships because we've talked about this on the pod that like our family has historically not been very good at modeling, demonstrating, or teaching, like, handling conflict within our family. All of us individually and then collectively. And I think you and I have done a lot of work individually and also collectively with each other on, like, how do we resolve, like, when we're upset about something in a new way, in a healthy way. And so, you know, even being able to have that conversation with our dad, because, you know, he's also someone who's like, he'll hold on to it for his entire life. And, you know, it's not really something that we have over time, like, sat down and been like, here's what I'm upset about. And, like, here's what I'm going to do about it.
And so we just don't talk maybe for a week and then come back like everything's normal and then bring it up every 8 years.
Yeah. And then it's just always there.
Or for 8 years,
You know, and, you know, our family never lets things go. We always, everything's
you guys used to call me scorekeeper.
We
and
we all got it apparently.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was a very
awesome.
interesting experience. You know,
and also when you see sometimes like when someone has a historical way of reacting, it stops you. I feel like people kind of use it as an excuse sometimes, like of like, well, this happened in my marriage, and I know it's happened in friendships too, where they'll be like, well, I didn't tell you because I thought you were going to be mad. And it's like, well, as you go on and you grow, sometimes people do learn and they do change, and you don't give them the opportunity to show if they have or not, if you're always, you know, holding things back. And at least for me, I've learned that even when I'm not trying to actively, like, people actually don't know what's going to make me mad. The things that should have hurt my feelings the most or made me mad, I've been like, well, that's okay, I understand. You know? And so it's like, now you've actually hurt me more because, well, if you thought I was going to be mad and you did it anyways, and then you lied about it, like, and I'm also, it's like, I don't want you to control my reactions. If I want to have that reaction, that's my right as well. And so I think with especially our parents, and even as siblings, you know, we go through this where it's like, I don't want to say like lie to each other, but sometimes it feels like you have to work yourself up to bring something up to someone because you're like, well, I don't know how they're going to react. You know, historically, you know, it's hurt my feelings when they reacted this way. Do I want to risk hurting my feelings again? And what's that going to mean for our relationship if I do? And like, so you're doing this like mental
gymnastics.
Yeah, and this like measurement of like, is it even worth bringing up? Should I just swallow it and get over it? And so I've really appreciated with, you know, each other and seeing, you know, and especially our dad model this because I think that, you know, without getting into the past too much, like it's really positively impacted our relationship because we can trust that, like, if I'm bringing something very difficult to you, that yeah, maybe I'm still being thoughtful about it in the way that I say it, but that your reaction won't be, you know, anger or to blow me off or to redirect or to, you know, say, oh, wow, that's just great. Well, and now we don't talk for weeks. And so those moments have healed a lot of our fractures as a family. And so it was a really good moment. It was one of those that I think we look back on and have a positive experience about.
As you were talking, I was thinking like it's actually like probably was like the first of another moment that happened recently because like you said, like our history as a family is like, I'm upset about this. And as a result, I'm either going years without talking to you. I'm, you know, like punishing you through like all
subterfuge,
of these, like weird ways of like, you know, passive aggressive behavior. And, you know, it's hard to unlearn that. But like that was like, I think our first experience also with our dad, who's very similar in that way. Yeah. Where it was like, all right, we're going to say what we feel. We're not going to backtrack into, well, the reason I did this was because blah, 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 blah. It wasn't like exploding into like, okay, we're going back into the past. We stayed in like, this is the issue. We were able to voice our feelings and then move on from it.
And let it go.
And like that happened recently with our father as well. And like the repeated exemplifying of that, like that we are all growing as we age into full mature adults. And, you know, also reach like new eras of our own lives is actually really nice because I was actually thinking as you were saying, I'm like, wow, like, you know, I had that conversation with Dad back when, you know, a couple months ago and things have felt like they've moved on. It wasn't like a conversation that we had in this moment in time and then like, oh, like, I'm not seeing or feeling anything, or I'm holding on to something still.
Yeah.
Like I actually feel like I was able to let go, and that's just not something that we're really good at in our family.
Yeah, and I also think the side of like, okay, well then if they react that way, are they going to be holding that against me too? And like, do I want to put up with that? Do I, and so.
Tricky.
Well, yeah, because it could be now I'm not talking to you for years, or now you're not talking to me for years because you didn't like what I said. And it's like, I totally agree. Like those moments build so much more trust, and it does make it easier to have difficult conversations with people because that type of thing is like once trust is, I guess, broken in that way, or like it is easy to refer to the past. But I recognized back when we started our reconciliation process as sisters, when I was in college, and you'd come home from a visit. One of the things, because at the time it was really rough family dynamics all around. Like I don't think at the time that I was talking to Dad, I hadn't talked to Dad in years, and you and I were not close. I remember, but I get Facebook memories. I had a Facebook memory that said, "Ugh, my sister's here." Like God, like I mean, just like not looking forward to it at all. Like didn't want to talk to you when you called. Like just so much like a bitterness I think there, and one of the, which is also why, sorry, not to get off track. Like I think people that aren't our close inherent family or friends, like maybe like the outskirts of like our extended family, have sometimes been surprised at how close we've gotten through the years, because growing up they remember what it was like and it wasn't like that. But one of the key moments in my memory and head of the reason that I was able to move forward was because you apologized and took accountability and had changed behavior. And it's not like you were the only one that did anything wrong, but like, when you're in an argument with someone, or like, it's not even an argument, like we're talking about like a lifelong grudge, I guess, and they're like, I'm sorry that I did X, Y, and Z, but that's because, you were this way and that way and that way. That is very difficult, I think, because, I mean, it's in every relationship. It's like, well, if you felt that way, tell me, when I bring something to you, don't say, well, you also did X, Y, and Z that pissed me off. That type of argument, it's like, to me, it's like not in good faith. And so feeling like that, like it really was, I think, the catalyst to us having a great relationship. And of course, everything wasn't perfect after that, but, just seeing, again, not the accountability piece and the change in behavior when we would get into fight, when I would be the instigator, when like, like that and so.
I remember sitting at a restaurant and I think like you and I got into a fight. It's local. But you and I got into a fight, and then like I think either you left or I left. I probably left, but it was like just had to keep it in,
But yeah, you kept your cool in that situation, and you were like, and you said, you basically that I can't keep holding the past against you, and I was like, yeah,
girl, I don't know where that came from,
but like, well, it is hard to move forward. You can't hold the past against someone, and even now, when we talk about things in the past that either one of us has done, there is no bitterness or anger in it. It's like, hey, remember that time you almost pushed me off the cliff in Costa Rica, or pretended you were going to push me off the cliff in Costa Rica? I think that's why I'm afraid of heights. Dead serious. I think that's why I'm afraid of heights. But like, I'm not mad about that.
It's really crazy because it's like I have terrible memory. Like I have really.
Oh, I'm here, baby. Don't worry.
I know. So there's a lot of stuff that you remember of like traumatic things I did to you that I have like no recollection.
Oh, maybe I'll stop bringing them up. let me get invested in a journal. And I'll stop reminding you.
I'm like, you're welcome to, but I'm like, when you're like, remember when I did? I'm like, actually, no, but I totally believe that that's possible.
Well, sometimes what's triggering for you is nothing to someone else. It's like when someone cuts you off in traffic and it ruins your whole effing day, and that person's like, I wasn't even thinking about you, So, anyways, so we went to a graduation. A graduation party, and a real one.
And there was no surprise wedding.
Was no
at
surprise
that
wedding.
Party.
There was surprisingly good food. That was really good.
It was good.
So that's how my week was.
Great. Yeah, as you mentioned, my week involved a little bit of, I think last time we met, I was in a lot of like self-pity, and we started talking about this on the pod, and I was like not really even in a good space. It
was a rough episode in general.
Journal, it's like I need to process things, and I hadn't given myself enough time to before we were sitting on this couch, and that was day one is what that felt like. And by day two, like the middle of day two, it was like I needed to rally myself. And like at the end of the day, I had to like shift perspective because I can't live in this space of self-pity that I want to live in. Like ultimately, like I'd love to just pull the blanket up and like, the world is gone. It's just me and my my iPad and my TV and my escapes, whatever my escapes are. And so I felt like I had to pull myself up out of that, did that on, the day after we last met. And, ultimately made my feelings of success or my feelings of validation or my feelings of self, like try to turn them around to be more positive by doing like positive things. That's what I find is like the most helpful to me. So checking in with my friends and like, how are they doing? And like, making plans. Okay, I'm going to go to this graduation and like doing all of these things, even if I don't want to do them, has this effect for me where I feel better.
Yeah.
And like, so I really kind of leaned into that this past week. So the graduation ceremony, I didn't want to go because like you mentioned, it's long. My friend whose graduation it was, I had FaceTimed her like before. I'm like, do you care if I come or not? She's like, no, not really. And then she does this really funny thing where she gets up on FaceTime and she just walks across the screen. She's like, that's pretty much what it'll be. Like, she's just like hilarious. And then I get to her graduation. This bitch has decorated her grad cap.
Oh.
Okay. She bought a stole. That's like for her heritage. I'm like, how dare you tell me that this is no big deal? When
I'm pretty sure I saw someone walking with a sign, like a real made sign, not like a poster
our
board.
mutual
Like
friend
they paid
went
for that.
and got a sign.
Yeah, and it was
made
great.
for her.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, glad I showed up.
Nice setup.
Like, not big deal. Yeah, so ultimately it's like showing up in moments where something like even when I really don't want to, doing things, having conversations when I really don't want to because I just want to like escape into myself.
Yeah.
Over the course of the week, I was able to pull myself out of what felt like just despair.
And victim mindset, yeah.
And yeah, a little bit of a victim mindset because it's like the world wasn't doing what I want, people aren't doing what I want, and I wanted to react out at everyone. I got a little bit of wreckage I got to clean up with mom. So got to do that. But, I feel like I was able to turn it around and like ultimately go into the weekend having a good weekend. So
I think I have an interesting story. I don't know if I've told this before. We never know because we talk every single day. I'm like, did I say this mic'd up or not? But when I was at a few jobs ago, I had been in a position where, let's say I was like one of the first people to start on this team. We hired more people on the team, and I'm watching the people that came in after me get promoted. And my ego and victim mindset kind of started acting in. I'm like, getting mad. I'm like, oh, do I look for a new job? Like, I'm not appreciated here, blah, 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 blah. Like, why are they getting more opportunities than me? Like, and I remember after feeling like this bitterness of like, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm just gonna look for a new job and like leave, and then like, then they'll appreciate. Blah, blah, blah. I was
that'll
like,
show them. I go,
yeah.
yeah.
I was sitting in my room and I thought, you love this job. Like, you literally love your job. Like, it's a great place to work. You have a great boss. You have a great team. And you're letting your ego take something that you like away from you because you just can't handle that, like, what it means to you to not to feel like you're looked over or like you're not doing, you're not good enough. And so that moment really meant something to me because, in those moments where you're bitter, it's like you are reacting at work. Like, okay, well, I'm not going to work any longer. Or like, it's not like you're doing a bad job or purposely sabotaging. It's like you're not volunteering to do more. And like you're holding this as like a little grudge that no one knows about in this. And so I was like, you're really going to let your ego ruin it, like the best job you've ever had. Like, you literally love this job. It's so good. And after that, I started to like kind of reframe the way I saw their promotions. I was like, instead of seeing that like, oh, they're a senior and I'm a junior, let's say, in job title, I think that could be a good thing. Like, maybe I don't have to know someone. One, I can learn from them. Two, they did have more experience than me. So just because they weren't on the team as long doesn't mean that they were, those things did make sense. And so I remember I got an email one time and with no bitterness, someone asked me a question and I was like, I'm not sure. Why don't you, like, I'm going to add my senior to this email and they can answer it. And I was like, that in itself is like a freedom, you know, and a recognition of someone else. And like, there's a lot in that that's like, okay, it doesn't have to be the worst thing. And instead of pushing everyone away because I'm jealous and mad that they got a promotion, how about I use them to help me and like learn more and like learn about their disposition on meetings and all of that. And then, as you know, within every year after that, I got a promotion. So I just think it's really, and I see people do this all the time, the way that they not only victimize themselves, but the way that they allow that to let it ruin good things, because they don't, like, too many people think, like, they don't understand they're a player in it. Everyone is a player in every situation that they're in, right? Like, people aren't just, like, things just don't happen to you. Whether, that doesn't mean that it was, you did something wrong and then they did everything, or you did nothing wrong and they did everything wrong, you know? But, like, everything has this, you're doing something. And, like, same thing with my ex-roommate situation. Like, I actually thought I handled that situation with so much style, grace, and class. Like, I thought I did everything most people wouldn't do. You know, I moved out, I still paid the rent. Like, I signed off to end the lease early. I paid for part of that. When they left and dished all the stuff, I paid to have for the cleaning fee because I thought, I'm done with this, you know? And for years, well, first of all, we were best friends at the time. I would have to tell myself, like, you can't be over here praying for their downfall, you know, like, that's just not healthy. And I'd be like, no, like, it's okay. Like, good things will happen. I want the good things to happen. I want the good things to happen. But then I'd be in the shower and I would just have this, like, fucking flashback of just, like, I can't believe they would disrespect me like that. Like, so fucked up. And eventually I did get to the spot where I didn't wish them harm. Like, sometimes people, you know, it's fun to talk shit on people. But, like, I wouldn't try to actively engage in it or seek it out. Actually, I heard that they started a podcast. My friend's like, you want to listen to it? It's horrible. And, like, I went to go look at it. And I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to add that to my life, you know? Like, I'll just leave it at that. But it was maybe this year or last year that I started to think, you know, as fucked up as the things that they did were, I was a player in that, you know? Like, we had a living situation and I didn't like a lot of it. And instead of talking to them about it, I think you should just know that when you live with someone else, they don't want a sink full of fucking dishes. You know? Like, I feel like that's pretty fucking obvious to me, you know? Why would I want to come into the kitchen and not be able to use anything because you've used every dish and you haven't washed any of them, even though you have one of you that stays home all day and has a big break in the middle. So, and then that creates a bitterness in my heart. So I'm reacting to some of those. So it's like, I could have had that conversation instead of, you know, whatever I was doing to kind of like subtly punish them for that. And so even in that, I was a player in that.
Yeah.
And so anyways.
That's a really good point, because I was definitely in a lot of that headspace last week when we met and filmed. And like what I had to pull myself out of was like a lot of reframing what you're talking about. Like, I want to make it so much about me versus them, like, and the them can be any situation, any person, any scenario, whatever the case may be. I want to make it about my ego, my pride. It's been pride. Welcome. It's been wounded in some way. And my response to that is like, well, because I can't just do what I want to do, which is like, explode, I instead am just going to find my own way to just victimize myself, throw myself a pity party, and, you know, ignore everything, come up with some masterful, vengeful game plan, you know, just like you're talking about. And, you know, what I found myself doing instead on Tuesday of last week was like, all right, take a breath. Be glad that it's a slow week so you can kind of collect yourself, you know, just in general. And start reframing what I thought was like all about me, because I think everything is about me.
Natch.
And instead position it to be a little bit more about like, well, maybe it's not about you. And maybe it's just not about you right now.
Yeah.
You know, and like, it's okay. I can focus on other things.
Yeah, and like maybe it's not about you not being good enough. It could be, there's like, everyone has their own motivations and things that are happening in their life. And like,
yeah,
this, I mean, in so many situations at work, it's like, no one's actively sabotaging, like, you know, especially in the space I work in. They're not actively sabotaging, but they have their own concerns.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people these days, and it is hard because, like, I feel like for me, I'm like, no, I literally have, like, infallible logic. Like, like, if I'm living with these two adults, actually, I don't want to say living with because I paid half the rent for this place. I'm living in a 3-bedroom, 2 adults, 2 children, so many fucking animals, I can't even say. So to me, it's logical that as the one single person that lives with 4 other people, the trash gets taken out 5 days a week. How many times should I take out the trash? Once. I feel like that makes sense. 1/5 of the time. I'm 1/5 of the people that live here, right? That's not something I feel like I should express because I just feel like, again, that doesn't make fucking sense to me. And then one time, the husband in the situation complained that I didn't take out the trash enough. And I thought, first of all, you're a man, that's insane. You're a man that's home all day. It's double insane. But third of all, in my head, I'm like, okay, actually, I don't want to get too deep into this. But sometimes he would just take out the trash and put it by the front door. And then I'd go for walks, so I'd take that trash to the actual dumpster. So I actually feel like I do more than enough, you know? But the thing is that I was actually calculating in my head, you know? Like, remember, I wasn't thinking like they did it one day, okay, it's my turn. But like, I knew at least one day a week I should take out the trash, you know? And I was paying attention to that. And I was living by this, I don't want to say stubbornly, but stubbornly enough where I was never taking it out more than that, you know? And then I thought it was insane but I did make that change. But it's like that type of thing where it's like you're having all of these expectations in your head and thinking that other people are going to understand them. Yeah. And because they just make so much sense. But they won't. And then when they're not, you feel like, you know, again, it's that victim mentality. And it's like really hard for people to pull out like this happened to me versus like even understanding in like bad situations. Like I don't want to be that person that's like, you know, you get cut off in traffic and you're like, maybe they were having a bad day. Even though that's true, and that's the way I try to think. But I also am like, don't take a stranger's side. You know, like I don't know them, but like being able to be a person that thinks that way instead of like, you know, like I can't believe they did that, blah blah blah. Sometimes they don't even have to have a reason. Maybe they just weren't paying attention.
That's a perfect example. Yeah. Because I want to like your work situation, what you were talking about. It's like I've been in the situation where people have been promoted and I want to make it about like, instead of looking at them as like, they also are working and trying to advance and, you know, doing other things. I'm not even concerned about them. I'm so focused on what I didn't get that I can't be happy for what other people get, you know? And like, I really don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want to be someone who's chasing you down the highway because you cut me off, you know, because I do it all the time. I cut the lines. That's insane. I cut the lines in traffic, right? Like I know that this lane is gonna turn right. I don't want to wait behind all these cars, so I'm gonna find my way, right? Like I don't want to be someone who's like so filled with rage because I think the world revolves around me, because I can get to that, and I really have to change my mindset to, oh, the world is actively working against me, and I need to constantly be in a fight against it, instead to you know, like the world does not revolve around me. Yeah. And it's
maybe they didn't actually know that they needed to get over. First of all, I got on the freeway sometimes. It's like, go all the way over right now. And actually, I'm like, you bastard. So it's like,
I have to do a lot of that self-talk. And it ultimately helped me this week.
And I'm glad, because I think that when you can self-talk yourself that way, there's too many people in the world that can't do that. There are so many people that want to be stuck in being victims. And it's like, I know that's the easy route, you know, like that you're so gregarious, you're so perfect, you do everything right. How dare they misunderstand? How dare they say that to you? All you did was come in and offer them a piece of cake, a piece of carrot cake, and you were just being nice. Mind you, that person's told you 10 times that they're allergic to carrots. But the story that you're telling yourself is you can't believe they reacted that way, you know? And it's like, I find that it's also can be very difficult to have, like, because I don't want to be a positive Patty is what I call it, because it is kind of, I know it's frustrating for people. Like you're telling someone like, I can't believe, you know.
Don't play devil's advocate when I'm talking to you and take a stranger's side. That's what you were saying earlier. I agree. When I'm venting to you, I need you to let me vent to you. Don't come back with like, well, what if they were just having a really bad. I
agree. I think that for me, there's a difference between devil's advocate and reframing. And it depends on the severity of the situation, right? Yeah. Like, if you're telling me that you got caught up in traffic or this person cut you off in traffic and flipped you off, and like you were doing nothing but, you know, sitting there smiling and having a good time, and they purposely targeted you like that man in Forensic Files and then killed your family, I'm not going to say, well, who knows? But I do find that sometimes when people are ruminating on something, it does help. Like, and especially if someone is more of that victim mindset person, it is harder to not help them reframe, you know, where it's like, okay, I understand that. And like, I always try to tell my friends and people I talk to, I'm like, I affirm everything that you're saying. Like, I totally get it. And like, you're right. Like, that's hurtful. That's not fair. You know, they definitely shouldn't have done that to you. I think that, you know, they're like, I'm going to go over and I'm going to punch them in the face and I'm going to yell at them. And like, I'm going to send them this long message and tell them how bad they hurt me. I'm like, I think you should do that. But I think you should understand what you want to get from it, right? If you want this long message to explain to your ex-boyfriend how he broke your heart, that's fine. But you need to understand your ultimate goal with it. Because if you want him to come back and beg and apologize and he's never said sorry to your whole life, why are you setting yourself up for that? You know?
Yeah.
If you just want to get it off your chest, that's going to make you feel better. You just have to understand your ultimate goal. And so, yeah, anyways. I'm very proud of you for pulling yourself out of it because I know it's hard. It is very easy to throw yourself a pity party. And the world actually does revolve around me. So I get it. But it's much more freeing to just, you know, stepmom it up. Let people do what they want to do. You know?
I think the most helpful thing was, like I said, every day that I was encountered with like, oh, I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to go to that. I really don't want to do. I forced myself to do it. And I left every time I was in that situation feeling better afterwards.
That's literally what happened all the time. Like, you're like, I don't want to go. I just want to stay at home. But then you go and you're like, that was the most fun lunch I've ever had in the world.
I'm so glad I made myself do that, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's not good for me to sit in the dark under my covers.
Even though it is
Swallowing.
still
Feels
fun
great.
being a bed bug.
You know, it feels nice.
Get nothing done.
But just making sure and adhering to the things that I tell people. Like if I say I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna show up. You know, and so that was really helpful for me. And I'm really grateful for that.
Cheers to the girls' weekend. You're supposed to say cheers, bitch.
Cheers, bitch.
You better watch them B words, B words.
Cheers, bitch.
This. Okay, that is so annoying, but I'm leaving it in. You got any weekly ins and outs?
Okay. In for me this week, I literally posted a TikTok today about how I was starting this challenge. I lasted 3 hours, guys.
What? Wait, that's a whole 180 minutes, though.
Lasted 3 hours, so I will be posting a follow-up about my failure, but I'm going to restart. I am revisiting my 30-day challenge. It's no longer a 25-day because I'm no longer time limited to some vacation.
What did I say yesterday? 30-second challenge? I get her done.
So quick.
How about I try not to eat a Dorito in the next 30 seconds and then I'm successful.
You'll be so successful. So my 30-day challenge, I was actually talking to Dad yesterday, and he was listening to us on the pod talk about the challenge and got him motivated to do his own challenge.
Damn, we good.
Which then he cycled back to me because his freaking challenge is, I'm not going to say the joke on the pod.
Don't.
But his 30-day, his challenge is he's doing 3 days of fasting, and he's doing like a true...
You're not keeping it toy doves. You're keeping it real loose.
He's basically sending me a bunch of like meta articles on how good fasting is.
It is really good for you, though.
Yeah. I already intermittent fast. So I normally only eat for between 12 and 8.
Regular fasting is good for you. Regular not eating.
He's doing 3 days of just chicken broth. So yesterday I'm like, I gotta go get me some bone broth. I'm gonna try and do it. I started it today. I lasted 3 hours, guys. So we're gonna try and rally. But it's in for me this week. I am my heaviest I've ever been. I need my clothes to fit. And I'm motivated. I think I can get this done.
Okay.
Out for me this week. Okay. We can't get into it because we just can't. We're out of time. I haven't listened to it, but Drake released 3 new albums. I thought he only released one. I had started listening to Iceman. And I just didn't know what the vibe was. And so I really didn't enjoy listening to Iceman up to where I had listened to. And I said this before when he released the last album, like in post Kendrick beef. What was it, the Party Next Door album?
Oh, Some Sexy Songs for You.
Yes. Some Sexy Songs for You. Great name.
Seriously, with the dollar signs in the front. Love it.
Like, I actually want Drake albums to be good again. Do you know what I mean? And so I re-listened to More Life because I was like, maybe I just need to, like, reset my brain chemistry.
I have so much to say.
Oh, okay. So we can't get into it.
Rapid fire. Okay, really quick. First of all, and Drake's music has been good since XX album. No one ever says More Life. Y'all stupid. More Life is the best album, honestly, probably in the world, and he ain't even my favorite artist. It is so good. They'll say Scorpion. They'll say Take Care.
Scorpion.
They'll say Views. Scorpion.
Views is really good though.
Views is great. Views. If you're reading this, it's honestly the full first few of them. When we were at the graduation party, we told you that he released 3 albums. So I was like, first of all, no one has time for 42 Drake songs. Come on.
I know. That was
fucking life.
I still don't know what the other 2 albums are called.
I can't remember. I remember them, but then I don't know the first. I don't want to say the second one wrong. The other thing I want to say is that I've lost it. Finding it. I'm finding it. I'm finding it.
You're talking about More Life? Vibes? Passion fruit?
Finding it.
Wanting Drake to succeed?
Oh, no, we were at the restaurant. We're like, look, you're like, what? I just see Iceman. I said, no, you're just looking at popular releases. You need to go to see more discography. We found even more albums we had in here. I was like, I didn't realize Care Package was a whole thing. But anyways, not going back to listen to those. And then we reminded of Some Sexy Songs for You. But I agree. Maybe I'll post this text thread. I don't know. We could clip it in. But after being at the graduation party and I, let me see if I can find this.
Said you were going to listen to it on the way.
Hold on. I'm going to find it. And
I just think while you're looking for that, I just want to say again, I want to like Drake's music. I do.
I do like Drake's music.
I like a lot of Drake's music. I want to like his newer music. You know what I mean? Like I want to, but I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, I actually saw this hilarious TikTok. Now we're really not keeping it tight.
We're not keeping it
hilarious
tight.
TikTok. I have to send it to you. This guy's talking about Drake makes music. He goes, he said, that's what he starts. Drake makes music. Drake makes music, and he tells this long story about it. It's like, you knew this guy in college, and you guys used to go around town and be out all the time. And then you meet a girl named Lisa, and Lisa's great. You actually really like Lisa. Now you and Lisa are dating, and you start a life together. You have kids, you have a mortgage, you have a home, and then one day you're seeing that guy on his story that you used to be friends with. You're in a fight with Lisa. You call him up, and he's like, oh, I'm out and about, and I'm having a good time. So you're like, yeah, maybe I want to relive some of my youth. You go out with him. He's dating a stripper named Destiny, who's 21 years old, and you're sitting there, and she has her friend Clarissa, and then you find out that you have made out with Clarissa's mom one time, and then you realize, I want to go home. I want to go to bed, and I want to watch Grey's Anatomy. And I love Lisa. And the story went on for so long. People were like, "Friend, I think you're like." I forgot this was about Drake by the time you finished. So, like, I feel like this was your life story. And so it was very funny. But that's basically, it's like, he doesn't feel like he grows with you. Anyways, what I texted you was, I left the graduation party, and I said, not loving Iceman. It's not my vibe at the moment. And you said, it's been like 2 songs worth of time. I said, maybe I'll try on a nice California summer day. I'm actually only on 1 song. It's not a pre-sunset kind of vibe. So that's also going to be my out. I do want to try to listen to it, but like if it is torture, like honestly, Nevermind was torture to me. I think I only got through 4 songs when it was the bed creaking one that I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I tried so hard. Whereas I've been in the gym at other times when someone released, I think it was when Kendrick released Mr. Morale. I could listen to that whole thing in the gym session. Because you know how hard it is listening to music when you're working out or you're like on a long drive. You're like, I actually don't want to discover anything. Okay. Yeah. Are you done?
I just closing it up, I agree. If it's torture, I'm just not going to put myself through it. And I can't emphasize enough, like, I am rooting for this artist in a way. Like, he's, Passion Fruit is one of his greatest songs.
I could write a thesis on that entire song, especially when he says, passive with the things you say, a little slow. Okay, anyways.
Oh my God. And when he says, you're just doing that to get even. That is such a good song. Like,
even the intro, I don't even skip that
my
at the
God.
end when he's just, I was the whole thing, start to finish.
it's so good. And so it's all, again, I like Drake because I don't need him to be a lyrical gymnast. I just need him to put meaningful enough words to good enough beats.
Yeah,
That's really all I fucking
used
need.
to love the bar. I don't take naps. That was before I started popping bennies in the morning.
And then TikTok I said, she was like, why is he saying he doesn't take naps?
Yes, and that's where I realized, I actually used to totally relate to that lyric. It used to be my favorite lyric, and then I did start taking naps. And also, when Future says in I Thought It Was a Drought, he says, there's a lot on my mind, there's a lot on my plate, but I never complain. When I sing it, I say, but I always complain. Because I gotta be real with myself, okay? I do want to listen to it only because I like to be keeping up with pop culture, but maybe I have to be one. It's like how I've been watching Winter Soldier for the past month, 10 minutes at a time. So I feel like that's going to be my approach to Drake's album.
That's a good approach.
Okay, in for me this week, Newton's First Law. And I knew that off the top of my head. Because I've always said this, well, especially in like my most motivating, like the times where I'm most motivated, where it's like it's an object in motion will stay in motion. So like, if I start cleaning, I'll keep cleaning, and versus thinking about cleaning. And without getting too far into it, as you know, I've been, third law? I've been stopped by something, and so I found a little bit of acceleration or motion with things going well at work, or improving at work. And so I've kind of tried to use that into other parts of my life. And I feel like we had like a good, really, really good meeting yesterday. And so I'm excited to kind of see how that keeps going and keeping myself moving, grooving. And just when it hit me, I couldn't remember.
Somebody turn around.
Anyways, so.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I love you.
I love you too.
About that wedding. No, I'm just kidding. I thought these was definitely different from, I think, our normal content in terms of, it was a little deeper, but still funny.
Yeah, I think we got into some lore, number one, which is always fun because right now I think our biggest audience is our family. So it's nice to kind of
That's going to be real fun for them to watch back. They're going to love it. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. As you heard our story today, before I say goodbye really quickly, we need money for therapy. So if you could Cash App, Venmo, bank transfer. I don't have PayPal, Zelle. We'll leave it in the comments. Thank you so much. Love you.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. As always, stay pretty.
Stay traumatized.
And prideful. But not too prideful, as you heard today.
Oh, I have a lot of pride. Okay, we're getting to it. Bye.
I'm smart like a motherfucking Tesla. I'm clutching this Glock, do I look like a wrestler? Get put on your back, tryna act like a flexer. Hold on, wait, this Glock take him out like a date. She give me the pussy, I just want the face. Fuck her real good, put the bitch in her place. I'm high in the bitch, but my mind up in space.